Is Detroit the most dangerous city in America? A new crime report says yes, but Detroit isn't taking the news laying down.
I don't agree at all. You see, I'm here on a Sunday night, Greektown. I mean, it's really a good experience. I mean, we're at the bakery, plenty of people in here. I don't think anybody's in fear at all.
We can't leave it all to the police department. They have a lot to do, and we appreciate the work that they're doing, but they can't do it alone. We have to be their eyes and their ears.
Police Chief Ella Bully Cummings joins us from Detroit with reaction, and publisher John Jenkins is in Washington. He has the CQ Press, the group that did the study. Thank you both for joining us today in the CNN newsroom. I know it's a very busy time for you with the holidays.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Chief, you took particular, I guess I should say, interest in this study, obviously, but you don't think it's accurate? You don't think Detroit belongs at the top of the list?
What I will tell you is that I've taken exception to the way the data has been presented. I don't believe that I'm the only one that is taking exception to it. You have the American Society of Criminology, you have the U.S. Conference of Mayors. What has happened is voluntary data that we provide to the FBI for the Uniform Crime Reports, free data, mind you, that the FBI uses to do trend analysis on a national and regional level has been taken. So free data has been taken by a company, an organization that, in my opinion, has manipulated the data and is now offering it for sale. So
okay,
yes,
Chief,
I take exception.
All right, Chief, I want Mr. Jenkins to get in on this. You published this. What you say that this is just the cities and the folks in the cities who take exception to this. You say they're just shooting the messenger.
Well, we're not manipulating the data at all. We're simply reporting the official government FBI statistics that we have. It's as simple as that. We're a journalistic entity, journalistic organization. We're doing what in the time-honored tradition of journalists is presenting data fairly and factually. So that's exactly what we're doing.
And I want to talk to you about that data because even the FBI criticized this report, and I just want to read what they say. This was Rob Casey, who heads the FBI section that puts out the Uniform Crime Report. It says that you're not comparing apples and oranges, you're comparing watermelons and grapes. These rough rankings provide no insight into the numerous variables that mold crime in a particular town, city, or county, state, or region. Now, consequently, they lead to simplistic and/or incomplete analysis that often create misleading perceptions adversely affecting communities and their residents. Even the FBI says that this information, Mr. Jenkins, is misleading.
No, the FBI is not saying that the information itself is misleading. The FBI is actually collecting this information for very good reason, because it is
no,
the
you know
information
what?
in the way that you're presenting
no,
it is what I'm saying.
It's taking the data and throwing it in a box and shaking it up and making it smell different. That is not what the FBI is doing. That was never the intent, and the FBI will tell you the intent of law enforcement sharing this information was for trend analysis regionally and nationally. There's a big difference. When you weight a homicide the same as you would an auto theft, that's manipulating the data.
I think there's a very good reason for doing that, Chief Bully Cummings, and I think the chief has a very, very difficult job, and my hat is off to her actually for stepping up and coming out and being right in front of the matter this afternoon. But the fact is that what we're doing is telling the public what is the likelihood of being affected by a crime. It isn't.
Then why don't you use all of the factors which contribute to crime? Why don't you provide how you arrived at your analysis? Why do you call your analysis proprietary? If you really wanted to provide the truth to America, you would, well, that's what your press release said.
I've got to jump in
how
here
you arrived at the information.
Because Mr. Jenkins, she actually brings up a very good point here. When you look at certain cities, she said that certain things are not put in the mix. You rank a homicide the same way you would a sort of petty crime or quality of life crime. What about in cities with huge, hang on.
No, there's only
cities like Philadelphia, New Orleans, and other large cities who have huge crime problems did not rank anywhere near Detroit. Why are they not even in this? Chicago was taken out of the mix because of data, because they didn't have the data that was supposed to be supplied.
There are a couple of cities that are not in the mix because the FBI did not put them into the mix. But in fact, we've looked at the data from those cities, and it doesn't change the overall rankings. It doesn't change the overall rankings. And we're not sociologists. We're reporters. We're journalists. We're taking the information that we get from the government, and we're doing a ranking that is absolutely valid.
then why would you do something which, if you go on the FBI's website, it cautions against doing the very thing that you're doing?
That's the FBI acknowledging that there are criminologists and sociologists who believe there are many, many other reasons for crime. And I don't take a position on that. We're taking the FBI data and collecting it and compiling it fairly, putting it into a form that's usable by the average person.
Really quickly,
you're putting it in a form which is totally out of context.
Chief, I hate to cut both of you off, but we're running out of time, and I just want to say real quickly, if you can respond yes or no. These findings, they say, are groundless and do more harm to the communities than help, even by just reporting it in this manner. Do you agree, sir, Mr. Jenkins?
Well, I think that it's not up to me to speak for the Detroit Chamber of Commerce.
Okay. And Chief?
I find that when you put information out of context, it does a lot of harm to cities, it does a lot of harm to the communities in those cities, and it does an injustice to law enforcement.